Part two. What I'm doing is I'm keeping the files shorter.
Okay.
So you got half brothers and half sisters out there. Well, you were born May 12th, 1934. Where were you born at?
I was born in Ark City, Kansas, on a dairy farm that Dad was running. He had about 12 milk cows, and it was 6 miles from town. And he had a herd of cattle that something about the government got involved. They had to dig a big hole and drive the cattle into that hole and then shoot them and then bury them.
Did they have hoof and mouth?
I don't know what it was, but I know Dad lost the farm. And that's when they moved to Oklahoma when I was about 6 months old. I was just a baby. But I was born on this farm just outside of Ark City, Kansas. And we moved to an old farm with a rickety old house on a hill. 12 miles east of Enid. And we lived there until I was in the first grade. Before we moved to Enid, and they rented a house at 1025 East Cherokee. And that's where I started school, at Roosevelt grade school. And I went there through the 6th grade. And then Dad bought this house at 1007 East Main. And we moved in there, and I went to Longfellow Junior High.
But that place has changed a little bit since you went there.
Definitely. I went to Longfellow because I lived on the east side, and went to the 10th grade in high school. That was clear across town. Sometimes I had to walk home from school, but I could take the bus. Mother did manage to give me bus fare, but I did have to walk home clear across town from high school to 1007 East Main, because she didn't have the money for the ride home.
The money for the ride home. You had to pay for a bus?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't a school bus. There was no school bus at that time.
Okay.
And it went on Oklahoma, out to Phillips, got on Randolph, and came back east. And I would have to get off on Randolph and walk home on 10th Street, just 2 blocks. So I was very lucky. And I would get on the bus going to Phillips and take that whole ride clear out to Phillips and back to town, and go to the west to go to high school. Otherwise, I would walk to high school, which was quite a ways. And once in a great while, Mom would come up with bus fare and I could ride the bus. And I'd get on it when it was going east and ride clear out to Phillips and back almost by the house and go clear over to Van Buren on the bus. And I was just a couple of 3 blocks from high school. Otherwise, I would sometimes get up in the morning and leave early and walk to high school when I didn't have the fare.
Did you have a bunch of friends in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Did they live close by?
No, Mary Lou was the closest one, and let's see, I lived in the 1000 block, and she lived in the 1400 block. And sometimes we could walk together.
Just a couple of little hellraisers?
Elevators?
Hellraisers. No good nicks.
We were inseparable. Mary Lou and I were. We started out in Roosevelt grade school together, and she got married when she was a sophomore in high school. She got married awful young. But we were inseparable until that time, and she met a flyboy out at the base, and he got shipped off and she went with him, and I didn't see her for years after that. We were so close.
Okay, I'm going to shut you off now for a little while.
Okay.